Alright, I'm actually going to get out of this one and I'm going to kind of bring you to some stuff that I personally was working on for something totally different, not involved with this class at all. I'm going to kind of walk you through some of the stuff that I do. So this is a um, drawing slash logo kind of thing that actually I'm going to turn into a t-shirt for this company that I was hired for, and this is kind of where I usually start out, is kind of sketching stuff out. Like I said, paper and pencil is kind of your fastest, most reliable stuff, and then bring it in to the computer after that. So for me, what I did was I went out and kind of, first I looked at, I don't even have it all in there, do I? Yeah, there we go. I brought in a bunch of references and resources. This is the kind of style that I'm going for. This is their actual logo. And I'm going to kind of do something like this for them. And so, like I said, the first thing I did was actually draw it out on paper and pencil. I actually went through a couple different iterations of it. Is this? Yeah, so a couple different iterations of it, and this is kind of what I ended up with. You might ask, like, well, why don't I just live trace it? Because it doesn't necessarily always work out super well when you do that. Even if I got rid of some of that stuff, if I live trace it, let's click on it and see what happens. This might take a couple hours. Right, and so it's really gross looking. And so instead of live tracing it, what I do is I bring it in and I lock the layer, and then I usually bring down the opacity a little bit, and then I use my tools to actually essentially just redraw it. So let's bring my opacity back down. Something doesn't want to do that. Why isn't it doing it? Because I didn't click on it. All right. There we go. So usually bring my opacity down. For this purpose, actually, I didn't this time. And then I go in, make a new layer, and then I actually start to use my different tools, like my pen tool and my curvature tool. The curvature tool, what it's going to do is going to let you click on different points, and it kind of follows, the pen. It's going where I'm telling it to. It has nothing to do with this, or like where the drawing is right now. It's not like tracing out the drawing or anything like that. It's literally just going where I'm putting it to. Let's see. So in that spot, if I click, let's go back. If I go here, you can see it's starting to, it wants to do like a curve. If I hit, let's see, I think it's Alt, and I click on it, it'll kind of let me do hard corners. So now I can go there, here. So you can see it's kind of an easy way to trace out round shapes and that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of back where I started. Right, and I held down Alt again, and it gave me that shape. Right, so you can see before and after. Maybe it's not perfect, maybe it is, I don't know. I'm going to get rid of that white so I can actually see what I'm doing, and now you can kind of see, right? It's pretty close. So now I can actually go in and fine tune it with my direct select tool, right? So I can go into each point, mess around with my anchors, that kind of stuff. Back in the day, you actually used to have to, it was a lot harder, let's just say. So the harder way to do it, and the way you used to have to do it, is to use the pen tool. It's still super useful and not like tool to know how to use. It's just going to make you a better designer, artist, that kind of stuff, because you're, just another tool to have in your pocket. So essentially the way it works, I can click, drag, and you can see it's making those anchor points. Click, drag, click, drag, click, drag, click, drag, click, drag. And it takes a lot of practice. I'm not going to lie to you. It's super hard when you first start doing it, and you're going to get frustrated with it. The more you do it, the easier it's going to be. Anymore I can I know kind of how this stuff works. So here, bring this up, go here, drag it out this way, go here, drag, oh, too far. So I'd probably go here and bring this over. And sharp corner. All right, so like I said, it's a good tool to know how to use. You know, if you can get away with using just the curve tool to start out, like great. But long term, honestly, I would learn how to do this because it's gonna help. And it's super easy to make really basic straight shapes too. So all I have to do is click, 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 and I'm happy. Yeah, pen tool. All right, I'll show you the width tool and then I will leave you alone. Sometimes you are happy with just the standard width of your lines, of your stroke. Sometimes you actually want something a little more interesting or less uniform to make it look like it's been done by hand, or just to get a little more character out of it. So one of the things you can do is that I can make sure I click on my stroke, and I'm going to go up to where it says uniform, and I'm actually going to switch it to width profile 1. So you can see now that stroke, it goes from pointy, thick, to pointy, right? Just like here. Yep, pointy, thick, pointy. Okay. I can also manipulate it even more so by going to the width tool. So if I click on that, I can go straight here and I can actually pull on it. And I can actually pull anywhere on there, so I can make it look like it's got it. Alright, but you can kind of get the idea that, like, by doing this, I'm going to be able to add a lot more character to my artwork. Right, obviously it's still not done. I got a ways to go on this thing. When it's all said and done, I'll probably put a handful of hours, probably like 8, no, not that many, maybe 4 hours into this artwork. And if I get it done, I'll put it on the old class website. But cool. So there you go. That is pen tool, curvature tool, and width adjustment.